On this video, I'm going to show you how I connect the carburetor to the fuel tank and to the rest of the gimmick right here. I got this Go Kart used, so I'm still trying to figure it out myself because there was some stuff loose. But some hoses and stuff loose right here. The carburetor, I cleaned it up real good because they got all gunked up with it sat, over the winter and stuff, and it got all gunked up and it wouldn't turn on. So I took the carburetor apart, and they got the bottom where you can't really take it apart. But I'm gonna show you how to hook it up. I already got it cleaned up. That's on a different video. But I'm gonna show you how I hooked it up, and it seems to be running. There's one hose coming out of the carburetor. I think it goes to a certain area, but I don't got the connection to it. And that's actually this one right here. I'll show you that. But it turns on and it runs. Get a little bit of gas there. See that? Oh, I got it in gear, man. I kind of got it in gear there a little bit. I need to just try to take off backwards. All right, let me show you how I got this connected right here. I'll remove the fuel tank so I can show you how this connecting on mine. I don't know if it's connected like this on other ones, but this is the way I got it connected. Get this out of the way. There it is. Oh, I forgot to hook the choke up and it still turned on. I was surprised. Okay, at the bottom of the fuel tank, you got the lines right here. This is the line that goes to the carburetor. This little line goes into the intake. Let me get you a good view right here. Here we go. The bottom line, which is the small line, right here, goes to the intake right here. See that? There's a little line right there, as you can see it as I'm moving it. To the intake right there. There's a big hole in front of it, but as you can see right there. See it? There it is right there. Okay, that hose right there, the little one, connects to the bottom part. Now we're gonna go to the top hose. So from the fuel tank, the top hose goes to the filter, to the gas filter, and then from the gas filter goes to the carburetor. So this is the carburetor right here. It connects to the carburetor, the filter, and it runs up to there. The top hose to the filter, down to the carburetor right there. See? That's the top hose. Goes to the carburetor. The little hose goes to that little manifold, like I said right there. Okay, once I got that connected, you come over here to the other side of the carburetor. Okay, when you come to this side over here, the carburetor, on the driver's side, at least on my carburetor, you got this hose right here. It comes right here. Now this wasn't plugged into anything, but I got this Go Kart used. So I'm thinking on all the other Go Karts I see, with a different Go Kart, it's got a T on there. This will plug into the T. Up to this little vacuum hose will plug into a T. And like this one plugged in here, there would be another hose coming from here, plugged into the T, and it'll go plugged in all three. These all three connected together. That's on the other Go Karts I've seen. So it'll be a T here. This will be a T. Hose will come out right here, connected to the T, and then it'll come up here and connect it to the tank. But on mine, It's loose, and like I said, I got this used, so I don't know if it's supposed to be plugged in or if it's supposed to be like that. So this is just a hose hanging. Okay, on the bottom of the carburetor, there is a hose there. That one's a drain hose, and that one just hangs. I pulled it out on this side over here, but I don't need it over here. I'm putting it back to go to the other side. I just pulled it out to be able to show you. That's a drain hose, so whenever you want to drain the carburetor out. There. And you just let that hang at down at the other side over there. There you go. So I just snaked it in there right there. Put it back where it was. I just pulled it out to show you that it connects to nothing. So that's that hose. This is the hose I'm confused about. But I mean, it's turning on. Right now I got everything loose because I was taking it apart to show how it connects. You see, there's nothing connected to the back part of the carburetor. And it still turned on with everything loose like that. Okay. The choke. Let me show you the choke. The choke I bought brand new because the one that was on here was all bent and it wasn't starting up or nothing. But when I went to start it up just a minute ago, it turned on. I was surprised because I don't even got it plugged in. I was just turn it on to show you how it works and everything. But it turned on without the choke plugged in. But before I replaced the choke, it wouldn't turn on with that broken choke in there. Okay, so like I said, the carburetor gas line comes to the filter. From the filter to the top one. Gotta show you, man, so I gotta do it over and over. Okay, this one, like I said, it's gonna go down and connect right here. This will connect to your harness over here. But like I said, I didn't connect it right now and it turned on, so I was surprised. I'm gonna try it again right now. Why? And it turned on, so let me give it a try. This is all messed up. I still gotta fix this Go Kart. I mean, it was given to me like that. I don't want to get run over, man, because I don't know if it's in gear. You know what? I better sit in it. Okay, I don't know. I know on some of them they say they will not turn on unless you push the brake pedal down first. Something like some of the vehicles. If you don't push the brake pedal down first, they say it won't turn on. This one turns on without pushing the brake pedal. But like I said, I don't even got the choke hooked up right now because I pulled all this to make this video right quick, which actually took longer because I was trying to figure out where the hose goes myself. But I don't even got the choke plugged in right now. So I'll plug that in a minute. It goes right here. I know where it goes plugged in, but I had unplugged it to make this video. Like I said, from the carburetor, this is the hose that goes right here and it goes to the top one. Then the bottom one, the bottom little hose is gonna go over here to the intake right there. That's all I can say, really. I mean, it wouldn't start. I did take it apart and I got that video where I cleaned it like crazy this. And like it is a factory one, you cannot take well, you would have to put some slices there. Pretty warm there. I just had that on. I got my arm on it. You would have to slice some little slices in there, be able to pull that off to clean that carburetor good. But I was able to clean up pretty good and I got a video on it. I cleaned it up pretty good. Like I said, look, I got this hose just hanging right here, which I think is a vacuum line. And earlier I did blow in it. I was like, and it started making bubbles and noise and it started leaking down here. So I know I got a leak. So lucky I'm making this video. You see, there it goes. See it leaking right now? When I blow in there, so that means there's a broken seal in there. So I got it coming out. Anyway, so that helped me for that. I know what to fix that. Don't forget, I got everything loose and it still came on. Look. Oh yeah, I blew all that gas in there. Look at, I did that. I didn't put that back. I'm gonna have to connect all that. I was just taking off to do this video right quick. But like I said, I think this connects to a T with some other stuff, but it's been hanging there since I got it. Like I said, it's still turning on. I used it when I first got it, and it worked good, and it sat over the winter, and it would not start again after that. That's why I pulled off this carburetor. Like I said, I got the video on it, and I cleaned it like crazy, the best I could, man. I cleaned it real good. I put it back on there, and it started working. And like I said, right now, and I actually only got the gas line hooked up. Yeah, I only got the, this is the carburetor. I got the gas line hooked up. I don't got this hooked up and it turned on. And the other line, like I said, I believe it's a vacuum line. That's not hooked to nothing. And it turned on. The other hose is in the bottom, like I told you. The way bottom of the carburetor. See that? But that's a drain hose. That's just a drain hose. And that's it. So literally that's all I got hooked up and it turned on. This filter was pretty clean. I mean, it's clean enough. I mean, you can pull it off and blow on it and see if you feel air go through it to make sure the fuel's circulating through it. You see, I got everything loose. I still got to put everything together, and it still turned on with everything loose. But like I said, I cleaned this like crazy because it wasn't turning on before. That carburetor right there. I know I'm chit-chatting a lot, but I'm just saying all the stuff I went through. But I cleaned it pretty good. Well, the video's there. And I put it back on, it turned on. And I still got to replace the tank. It leaks gas right here. When I got it, it was broken. I still haven't got to that yet. I'm gonna pull all this off, clean it up real good. Right now, put it back in there. I don't want nothing to get in there. Alright, man, thank you for watching the video. I'm just showing you how I connected that carburetor. And how it still turned on without even putting the choke, connecting the choke. You know what, let me connect the choke. I'm gonna connect the choke right quick. See if it turns on better without me stepping on the gas pedal now. Remember, this is the choke. So I connected the choke back. Remember, it was turned on without let me see if it turns on without me stepping on it since the choke's in there. Nah, man, it's gonna make me sit in it. Like I said, it's still got to be adjusted and everything. Nope, but it seems to be staying on with the choke connected. See, the choke's connected, so it's staying on. Look, I'm dripping fuel. I got the fuel tank laying over. I tell you, I gotta replace that fuel tank. So you see, with the choke, it stayed on for a little bit. I'm gonna have to adjust it. Look, give it a little bit more gas. More? There it is. That's how you adjust the carburetor, see? As you turn it down, you're getting more gas. See, now the idle's higher. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah. I'm glad you asked for help, man. I'm getting this one going myself. Alright, so now I got it turned on by itself. I don't have to sit in there and push the gas. And I adjusted this right here to get it going. They give it another try. Oh yeah, baby. I didn't like when I was having trouble with it, man. All right, so I'm glad somebody's asking about this, man, cause I've been neglecting this. All right, you see that? I turned this to adjust the gas. Move that hose out of the way. I gotta use this camera, man. Okay. Adjusted it right here. This pushes up or down. When you're doing that, when you're turning this, you're pushing this up and down. That's the gas. That's like stepping on the gas pedal, see? But when you turn this, you're adjusting it to where you need it. At the back part, there's another little piece there. Another little one that sticks out. And when you adjust this, it's pushing that little back piece down there. And it pushes this down. I was wondering, like, wait a minute, how's that even adjusting it? So yeah, because you can move this. See, it's gonna stop where you put that screw at. So I lowered this screw down, adjusted it right there, staying there. But it's not touching all this. And when you first look at it, you're like, well, what is it even doing, that screw? Because you move this, you don't see it touching nothing. But there's actually another lever sticking out at the back. And when you move this one, it moves with it. So you don't see it when you're looking at it a different way. So, all right, yeah, it's right there. The back one touching the bottom of the screw right here. So now I adjusted it pretty good where it turns on. Just make sure I'm not just talking stuff and not really working. Let's try it again, because hey, it seems to turn on a couple times. Yeah, because I had, like I said, I had to be sitting in there to get it turned on. That's pretty good. And like I said, I still got everything loose right here, look. I still got to tighten everything up. I got gas lines loose and everything. I don't recommend just turn everything on like that, but like I said, I'm just checking it out, trying it. It seems to be working. Alright, I'm going to kill this video right here. Made it a lot longer than what I should have, but I like to try to explain everything pretty good, man. Other than that, the carburetor seems to be working pretty good hooked up like that. I hooked up the choke. Like I said, really, there's only one line connected to it on mine. It's right there. You got the fuel line to connect to the top part. And then from the tank, you got that little line that connects to right there, that little pipe right there. Other than that, and it's turning on pretty good. But like I said, I got the video where I cleaned this carburetor, and I cleaned it like crazy because it wasn't turned on. I cleaned it, it took forever. And like I said, I couldn't take the bottom part off, but I was able to clean it up pretty good, and it got going. Like you see, it's turning on by itself now. And I've got all kinds of stuff loose. I ain't even got it hooked up right, and it's turning on, so I got that going. So that's the way you hook up the carburetor, and it's working. Okay, it's Monday morning. I left everything like this last night. I got done. I was making a carburetor video. I'm gonna try it, man, because I've always had to sit in there and push the gas and everything. But last night after yesterday after I was doing all this, did the video for that one person on the gas, on the carburetor. It looked like I fixed mine better. No way. I've always had to, like I said, I've always had to put in there, pump the gas and all kinds of stuff. And look, I still got all the parts. Carburetor up here. I mean the fuel tank up here. I did plug in my choke. My fuel line's there. And like I said, I got the other two hoses hanging there. Got the muffler's hot. Be careful, man. That one's hanging there, and then put that over here. Then the drain's hanging. Sorry about talking while it's on, but that's pretty good. All right, that's it. I guess I'll finish off this video like this. That is crazy. Ever since I got it, I've always had like pump the gas like crazy and everything. I guess it just had to be worked on. I'm glad someone asked me something yesterday or the other day. Running a little slow. I get seizures every once in a while, so I was kind of slow there. Had a seizure the other day, but I'm back and up and running. So here we go. Yeah, like I said, thanks for watching. I got this running better now, and that's because everything's still loose. Look, everything's still off. I think I gotta put everything back. Put that on water. Get in there. It's supposed to rain today. All right. So I still got everything loose. Hoses are loose and everything. It's turning on, staying on. Of course, I'm gonna have to readjust the carburetor once I got everything, because right now there's vacuum leaks everywhere. Like these are all loose, my fitting. But once I get all that done, I'm gonna have to readjust the carburetor. But I adjusted it right there after I cleaned the carburetor, because the carburetor is super dirty. Gas won't even go through. It was all sludged up. But after I cleaned it, it got running good. So hopefully, anybody having trouble with these, you clean them carburetors, they were sitting there. If they were running before it sat, and then they're not running no more after it sat, more likely your carburetor needs to be cleaned out pretty good. Alright, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can help one of y'all or somebody out there, a bunch of y'all. It's an older go-kart, but like I said, it was given to me. And it ran just a little bit with a leaky tank and stuff. I still got to fix all stuff. But thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. No deers out here. There's usually a bunch of deers out here. Alright, subscribe. Go watch my videos. I got more videos on this go-kart. Got videos on other stuff. Enjoy my channel. Later.